Hi, this is Lou from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles, and we buy and sell stuff for the two antique booths that we're in and the two antique malls that we're in. And we're on a Florida trip. So we are heading out on a Monday morning, and we're going to go thrifting to some stores on Merritt Island. So let's go see what we can find. We went by quite a few of them the other day, and we thought, oh man, we got to come back through here. So it's rainy, going to be rainy today and kind of nasty, so it's a good day to go thrifting. Just kind of driving around Merritt Island, and we're going to stop here at this A+ thrift stop. I don't know if it's any good or if it's even open. Looks like it's open. Did you park over there by that truck, Gary? What a bummer. That store was closed today. That last thrift store was closed, so we're going to go here to the My Island. I love My Island thrift store. Let's see what we can find here. Now, this was a really cool thrift store, and they had a lot of good things. But when we were there, everything was half off if you were a resident of Florida, or if you donated some money to the thrift store, you could also have half off. And I think it was like only $5. It wasn't a lot, but for what we were buying, it really wasn't going to pay us to do that. So even though we found a lot of cool things, we ended up passing on it because by the time we spent the extra $5, that would have added to the price of the item. And as you know, we're buying things to sell in our antique booths. So we got to be able to triple the price, and that wasn't going to happen there. So very cool store. I definitely go back there again. They had a lot of nice selections, a lot of nice things. Last thrift store wasn't open. We found another one around the corner, so we're going to go check this one out and see if we can do any good here. We just went into that thrift store, and they have like two colors that are half off every day, and it was blue and pink, so I got this giant bag of stuffed animals for 10. I don't know if I did well or not. Let's open it up and find out. So I got a couple Disney stuffed animals. I got a Mickey and a Minnie. There's my $10 back right there, and then some. I got this Mattel bee. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna have to look all this stuff up when I can get back to where we are. And I got a couple of horses. I got crowns on the tag. I don't know if that's means something or what, and then the rest of it's just kind of standard stuff. Some of it's stuff that probably came out of machine or something, but anyways, I think we did pretty good with that. Let me show you what else I got. And lastly, I got this vase here for $2. I'm sure I could put 6 to 8 on that. I got a magnet for ourselves, and I got a shirt, so that was kind of a fun stop. So it was fun to get a grab bag like that and see what you could find in it. Little thrift store where as we were driving, and so we're gonna go check this one out. So this store was called Patriots and Paws, and this was probably one of my favorite thrift stores in the area because it was partially a thrift store and it was also partially a bit of a museum. The owner has a military collection that he has displayed, and it is very extensive. So it was a very cool store. So I'm looking around here at the glassware. And what was really neat about this store, too, is they had a lot of little vignettes throughout the store, and they were decorated really quite nicely. So definitely a good place to check out and look at all these uniforms. And this is just the start of it. I could not believe his collection. It was really cool. And he even has mannequins with the uniforms on, which make them look more realistic, which I thought was a very neat idea. And he has some showcases here of his collection, along with other showcases of items that he's selling, too. So like I said, it kind of has it all. It's a little bit of a museum, and it's a bit of a thrift store, too. So definitely stop by here and check this one out, because this was really a fun stop. Look at all these uniforms. I mean, they were everywhere. All along the sides and up the walls. And look at all the medals on some of these. Very neat. We enjoyed this store. We had a good time in here. We spent quite a bit of time in here, like I said, because it was a bit of a museum. Look at the showcases full of things. And like I said, there's lots of stuff for sale, too. They had a lot of nice clothing. They had some kitchenware and some home goods and decorative objects. And I always check out the mugs these days because I've been buying and selling mugs. Mainly the Disney ones do well for me. The thing is, I only could pay about $2 for them because in order to make a profit, I got to get them so cheap that it's kind of tough to find at that price, especially down in Florida, because the Disney stuff, believe it or not, is a little bit more expensive down here than it is even in Michigan. So But I did find a few things, so that was good. And here's more of his collection. All along the ceiling there. And different various flags. And a lot of Asian art he had. And there were some pictures of some various famous people in his collection. And lots of clothing. Here's one of the vignettes I was talking to you about. He does some vignettes throughout the store, and they look very nice. And there was a few little rooms that you also could go in to find some items. And this was another vignette I thought was quite nice. Look at the vintage clothing. Really nice. If you're a vintage clothing collector, this is a good place to go. Found a Goodwill, so we're going to go check it out and see if we can find any goodies in here. So we went in the Goodwill and we started with these Disney ears. Now my crazy Disney daughter collects these ears, but she collects the ones that say Disney Parks on it. These were super nice, but they didn't have that tag that she likes on them, so we passed on those. This was a really cute purse. $6 though, I don't think I could make much of a profit on that, but I really like that. It was really cute. And here's kind of something sparkly that I passed on that one. I was in the toys and there was all these Disney dolls and they were super nice, but they were $5 a piece or $4.99, and to triple that would be what it would cost new. So for me, to buy for a profit, it's not a good price, but if you were just buying for someone in your family, that was a good price. That was a third of the cost of what they normally cost. And this Winnie the Pooh I kind of checked out, and same scenario here, super cute. If I was buying it for myself, I would have bought it, but for me to make a profit on, I ended up passing on that. I kept debating on that one though, until I really liked it. And I kind of looked through the other stuffed animals down here. I'm doing pretty decent on plush these days. This was super cute. I was going to buy this for my house. It's an advent calendar. It was only $6, and I debated and it's like, where am I going to put it? That's the issue. We have a really small house, so there was just no place to put it. But cute calendar. And there's lots of frames and decorative objects. That was a cute little Christmas tree. It had the original tag on it. That was probably a pretty good buy too. Lots of vases, and here's some holiday objects that they have out, and they have typically all the holidays out all year round. Now here was some really nice Disney mugs, but they were $5 a piece. I was kind of bummed because those would have been good sellers. Super cute. Cute for myself, but not necessarily make a profit on. Ended up not getting anything at the Goodwill, but they had some pretty cool stuff. There was a couple things I was really debating on. The mugs would have been awesome, but $5 a piece, I can't really make a profit on it. But that's a pretty good deal for some of those Disney mugs. So it was a good stop regardless. So we're going to go back to the campground and give you a tour. Let's tour the campground. So we're coming in through the front gate and we're going to the right here. I'm going to show you where we are at this campsite. We're kind of in these back rows back here. Lots of big rigs, as you can see. A lot of these people have been here since probably November or December. We can't stay that long. We've been here about a week. My favorite place to camp in Florida. So they have all these little cabins here. You can rent those. I think they're around $140 a night. I'm not quite sure. Here's the Kodiak. Really like the spot we got. We're kind of carved out in the woods there. Let's go down the row here, and here's some more little cabins that are kind of scattered throughout. They look pretty nice in the inside. I looked at the doors, and they look good. So we got rows here. And then over here is how you get out to the beach. There's also a road here and one on the outside here. And as if you can see between the cars, that's where all the boats come in. That's the canal where all the big boats come in. So we're going to go down here and we're going to head on up to the office so I can show you what that looks like. And as you can see over here, this is the park. There's actually campers parked right by the water out there. They don't have full hookups, so that's why we don't go there. I believe it's only, I think it's only electric. So that's a little bit tougher. We always like a full hookup. So this is the way you head up to the office. There's rows to our right and to our left. There's a shower house there with laundry facilities. Lots of Michigan vehicles in Canada. So this is going to be the new office here. They've been working on that for a couple years now. And here's the current office right here. Now on this side of the campground, these are really good spots, but I don't believe they have sewer. I think they have just water and electric. So it's kind of important when you stay here for a long time to have all your utilities. And over here to the right is usually where a lot of the big boats park. But there's none right now, and it's kind of slow the next couple days. They typically go out more around the weekend time. This is Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday are a little bit slower. It seems like. I don't know if that's the case every week, but this week it is. So these campers got a heck of a view if there's a big boat in. There's a big tent area up here to the right. And I'm going to show you where we go to get out of the gate. Here's the gate to get out to the main area. This is just outside the gate of the campground. The campground is pretty much gated in, but this is more of a public park area. It's kind of expensive to come here. I think it's like $25 a day or something like that. So let me give you a little tour of that. Am I in your way? Look at how blue the sky is. So straight ahead of us is where NASA is, right across that river or canal. I don't know exactly what they call it, but that's where the big cruise ships come in that we've been filming. And the campers on the front there's actually campsites there. But like I said, I think there's only, I want to say there's either only electricity or only water. So we like to have full hookups when we go anywhere. So I'll take you down by the shore here in a second. But past this building here on the right is the beach. So you kind of got it all here. So here's the shoreline on the channel where all the big boats come in. You can see one there right now that I think is going out tonight a little later. Typically they're all down there. And then across the water here is military. And actually there's a submarine in there. I don't know if you can see it. It's right next to the yellow thing. So we didn't get to see that coming in, but we're sure hoping we can see it going out. But you never know. There's no time scheduled, obviously, on that for obvious reasons. And here's the other side going into the ocean. So we're by the water here, and this is where the water goes out into the ocean, where all the boats go out, and we're right there. I mean, we're really close to everything. That's why I love it here. And on the end of that area there's a big long pier that goes out. Also, if you want to get some good views of the ocean and the boats going right out into the ocean. So that was very nice. So here's the entrance to the campground, and I was wrong about the ticket price. It's like $15 for a day use pass, unless you live in Florida, and I think it's a little cheaper, and depending if you live in the county or whatnot. But super nice park, a little bit pricier than a lot of parks, but I think it's well worth it. It gets pretty busy when the boats go in and out. There, that shoreline there by the water gets lined up with people, and it's like a big festive event when the boats are coming in and out. It's so much fun. As I'm riding my bike back, here comes a big ship into port. And right over these dunes here is the beach. Very nice beach, very sandy. There's actually another boat out there. I'm definitely going to have to get to the shore to check this one out. So we're at the beach, and here comes SpaceX. There's supposed to be a launch tonight. So hopefully that happens. There was supposed to be one last night. It got canceled, and the night before it got canceled. So hopefully tonight will be the night.
I see the balloon, the ball.
Oh, I do see it too. That's where it is.
Yep.
We're just talking about there's a yellow balloon up on a tower over there, and apparently that means that the launch is going to happen. So we don't totally know if that's true, but that's what we've been told. So we're going to go with that. So here's the beach right at the shoreline, and this beach to the left there is where the ships come out, and then to the right it goes all the way down through Cocoa Beach and all the way down. Beautiful beach, though. We love it here. We're going to head on over to see this boat, what we can of it. Been on my bike giving you a bit of a tour. This is the best part about staying here, right here. This is why I say it's so cool to see these big ships come in. It reminds me a lot of the Sulaks, but kind of like on steroids. So definitely a fun place to be. And hopefully the camera didn't get too crazy on you. I've been riding my bike giving you this tour. So we're going to try to get ahead of the ship here so we can get to the front. Look how close we are to it. Isn't it awesome? See if I can beat the boat down to the end. Everybody's got lots of noisemakers on the shore and on the boat too. Makes it kind of a festive event. There's hardly anybody here watching right now because nobody expected this to happen right now. It's not on the schedule. So you never know. This boat is the MSC. I know it, it wasn't on the schedule. That I saw, unless the schedule changed. Yeah, 1 o'clock I thought. usually pretty accurate, but sometimes they're a little bit different. You never know. Regardless, I got to see this one. I'm kind of excited about that. That's a big boat. And here's our next ship coming out. And this is the Utopia of the Sea. And like I said, it's a big festive event when the ships go in and out. There's lots of people with horns and yelling and waving. And at night it's even more fun because everybody has their flashlights on their phones going. And we're doing all kinds of arm movements back and forth. It's pretty entertaining. But anyways, this is a beautiful ship also. The Utopia of the Seas. And I think I might be mesmerized by these ships because I get real severe motion sickness and I'll never be able to go on one of these cruise lines, but I sure do love watching them come in and out. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen for me. And these ships are super beautiful. These are the Disney ships, and I believe this one is the Wish. And I wish we could have left some of the sound in here because the Wish does horns that are various clips of Disney music. But because of copyright laws, we're not able to do that. But that is a really neat thing to see. And they are so beautiful. They seem so prestige when they come through. I enjoy all the Disney stuff, as you know, because our last video was in Disney World. So this is a cruise my daughter has not gone on yet, but one day I think she's going to go on that. But she's got a little bit of motion sickness like me, so I don't know how that's going to go. So hopefully it's not a problem. But for me, I have a lot of medical issues with my inner ears. So, but isn't that a beautiful ship? With the blue on the bottom. It's just so different looking than the other ones. And we've seen this one and another one that came through. I can't remember. I think it was the Treasure that came through. Oh, it was maybe Fantasia. I'm not sure. But anyways, we've seen a couple of them. And we're going to have a video just on ships and space launches in the future here. So this is Lou from Lou's Antiques and Collectibles saying goodbye. And we'll see you again. And stay tuned for another Florida video and then the one on just ships and space launches. Bye.